Do you wanna watch some Frozen? Come on, what do you say? Don't wanna watch it anymore, it's such a bore, why won't it go away? You used to praise it highly, and now you don't. I wish you would tell me why. Do you wanna watch some Frozen? Why is that the film you've chosen? I'll tell you why. Hey everybody, Sol here. I have only one rule here. If it's animated, I'll comment on it. Well, you know, the weather's getting warmer, the birds are chirping, the sun is out, and people are cooking on their barbecues outside, and that delicate smell of cooking charbroiled meat wafts delicately through the open windows that have the warm, inviting breeze that comes in. So, with this warm weather coming around, I feel like the only thing that's appropriate to talk about is the movie Frozen. My thought process is weird. Now, Frozen is a movie that needs no introduction whatsoever. Every goddamn person on this planet has seen this movie, or they own some piece of merchandise from it, or they want to marry their Blu-rays, or they left their entire inheritance to it. I mean, it's been 2 years since the movie came out, and the merchandising train is still chugging along like it's on a fucking Mobius strip or something. Alright, so it's time for another look into Sol's history book here, because this movie Frozen actually has quite a bit of history behind it. So let me just see here. It's somewhere back here. Yeah, okay, here we go. Alright, so Frozen's origins actually trace back to late 1937 under the title The Snow Queen, which was written by Hans Christian Andersen. That technically makes this movie older than Disney's first feature-length animated movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Kinda interesting, right? Well, anyway, the movie kept getting shelved and unshelved repeatedly over the years, and people kept dropping out of the project. Disney briefly tried to revive the project in the late 1990s, but unfortunately, they just couldn't bring it out of development hell. Only after a man named Chris Buck came from Sony Pictures Animation over to do the project did it finally gain some steam, and together with Pixar's John Lasseter, the movie was released under the name Frozen on November 27th, 2013, and it went on to gather a, let me see here, what is it? $1.2 billion in the box office. Jesus. Well, that was a long story, but, well, let's stop taking a look at this movie's past, and let's take a look at the movie's present. This is Frozen. So, Frozen's plot is about as related to its source material as Shrek is to the original William Steig book. As in, it isn't whatsoever. In the kingdom of Arendelle, there are two princesses, Elsa and Anna. The older of the sisters, Elsa, has the ability to create and control ice, snow, and frost, but when she accidentally injures Anna while they're playing, she shuts herself away from the world and her sister until she can find a way to control her powers. After the death of the king and queen, seriously, Disney, what do you have against parents? Elsa is crowned Queen of Arendelle, and Anna becomes engaged to Prince Hans of the Southern Isles on the first day they meet, causing Elsa to become emotional and reveal her powers to her citizens and sister. Elsa flees her kingdom, which has become cursed to remain in eternal winter, and Anna decides to go after her, trying to reconcile with her sister and return their kingdom back to normal. Personally, I don't think there's anything particularly mind-blowing about this plot. It has a few twists to the tried and true Disney formula that are a nice change, but I can't help but feel I've seen them before. I can't recall exactly where for some reason, but it just didn't strike me as earth-shattering as some people set it up to be. Not bad by any means, and still entertaining, but not the 1 in a billion plot people claimed it was. Now, the characters are a big part of what people love about this movie, and to be ball-bustingly honest, I couldn't agree with them any less. You've got Anna, the protagonist, who's sort of a naive young woman who longs to get out into the open world beyond her confining castle and find something greater. Feel like I've heard that before. Anyway, she's a bit of a klutz, but she has a good heart, and she truly loves her sister Elsa. I think, though, that I can't connect with her character in any way, because she has too much of a modern sensibility that doesn't really fit in with the era or position she's in.
I know that that's supposed to be the point in that she's an unconventional princess, but it still seems a little too forced at times. Now, Elsa, every little girl's favorite, is, at least to me, actually worse than Anna. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like she's terrible or anything, but I just can't help but feel as though she brings all the misery and misfortune down on herself. I mean, she shuts herself out, she exiles herself, she secludes herself in a castle of ice, all the while keeping the same stressed and melancholy tone. I get it, her powers make her carry a heavy burden, but she only really makes it a burden upon herself. I mean, before her parents died, what were they gonna do? Lock her up? Well, it didn't really seem like it, the castle was open after all. I don't know, I just don't feel any connection to Elsa's struggles whatsoever, and I will pretty much get on any kind of emotional turmoil you can name. I cried when the neighbor told me they were out of sugar after all. There's other characters too, like Kristoff, an ice merchant who assists Anna in finding Elsa, his reindeer Sven, who acts like a dog even though he's a reindeer. Seriously, why do all equine-like Disney characters act like dogs? It's fucking weird. Well, anyway, there's Prince Hans, who is supposedly Anna's true love, and the big motherfucker of comic reliefs, Olaf. Oh Christ in a sauna, do I despise Olaf. Not because he's silly and completely, utterly, undeniably pointless to the story, but because there's already a comic relief character. Kristoff and Sven play off each other's okay for comedy's sake, but Olaf just steals the show in how obnoxious he is. He's literally 2 jokes, and that's it. His body can break apart, and he speaks without tact. Somebody please kill me. Now, it may seem from the harsh way I talk about Olaf that I don't like this movie. Well, in a way you're right, but in a much more accurate way, you're wrong. There are plenty of very enjoyable things in this movie, just maybe not quite as many as people would have you believe. For one thing, this is an absolutely gorgeous movie. It's some of the best CG you'll ever see, at least by today's standards, and everything is just so finely crafted that it honestly looks like it just sprang to life on its own. There's no moment in this movie that felt inorganic. Plus, the songs in it range from not bad to fucking amazing. It may sound a bit overdone, yeah, but in terms of scale and grandness, Let It Go is an incredible song. The actress who sang the movie version of the song, Idina Menzel, is very talented and absolutely deserves the praise she got. That doesn't mean the rest of you doing cover versions of this song get a pass, though. You know who you are. But, unfortunately, this movie does have quite a bit more bad things about it than one might think. Now, let me make it clear that none of these issues are catastrophically bad or anything. They're just flaws that range from minuscule to moderate. For one thing, I'm not a fan of the writing. I just don't like how modern a sensibility it has, like you know it's trying to connect to today's crowd. And, well, sometimes it's done right. Most of the time, to me, I can just hear the boardroom discussion behind every spoken line of dialogue. Also, it doesn't make any sense why Elsa faces absolutely no consequences from her actions. She froze her goddamn kingdom to the point where she most likely killed many elderly people and infants who froze to death from the intense cold off-screen. She killed off the entire population of fish and livestock who would easily succumb to the cold, and probably depleted the resources necessary to survive their natural winter, meaning that once the real winter comes around, they'll all freeze or starve to death. But hey, Elsa can make her ice go away now, so keep her queen, let her use her powers, don't charge her for the treason she clearly committed. The happy ending must be achieved! There are other things too, like this movie's alleged feminist and homosexual agenda, and the runaway freight train that is the merchandising that spawned from this movie that refuses to go away like a long-dead conjoined twin. But those are points that are contained outside of the movie. Those are issues that people have raised independently of the movie itself, so I won't say any more about it here. Want to know more? Check out a forum. They treat newcomers so kindly. This movie is kind of an odd beast. It's weird how many people profess to adore this movie like a gifted child when it first came out, then the exact same people suddenly turned on it like a switch had been flipped in their heads. I know it mostly has to do with turning against the oversaturation of its merchandise and material, but that makes people forget about the actual movie itself. And, well, how is the movie itself, on its own, with absolutely no acknowledgement paid to all the incessant background noise it produces? Well, it's good. It's definitely not the masterpiece of cinema that many critics and fans have claimed it to be, but it has something in it that will most definitely appeal to everybody, no matter how hard you try to deny it.
I give Frozen 3 eyes out of 5, which means it's a good movie. That's pretty good. I mean, there are some things about it that do kind of suck, but when you just look at the movie itself as a whole, it's pretty good. So, Frozen, is it watchable? Yeah, it is, and I mean that sincerely. I mean, don't expect it to have any kind of soul-shattering experience from it, though. Is it enjoyable? Well, yeah, it is. I mean, there are some things about it that adults might find kind of annoying, like fucking Olaf, but it's a movie that's got something to enjoy in it for everybody. Is it memorable? Well, it hasn't really been long enough to say yet. I mean, the movie's only 2 years old, so it's hard to say whether or not this movie's gonna stand the test of time like Disney's other classics. But, with the way Disney is merchandising this movie, it doesn't seem like they're gonna let us forget it. You know, maybe it's time for Disney to just let it go. I'll see myself out.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching my review of Frozen. Hope you liked it. If you want to see more of my stuff, you can click the links in the videos playing right now, or you can subscribe to my channel if you like to see the new videos that are uploaded every Friday. I would greatly appreciate it. Plus a like and a share help me and help my video get seen, and it's a good confidence booster, so if you'd like to do that, I would also greatly appreciate it. If you want to check out my various social media platforms, well, there's a link to my Twitch channel, Twitter page, and my Facebook fan page in the description, so if you want to click those links to check them out, that would be great. Alright, thanks a lot. Once again, if you have an idea for an animated series or movie you want me to comment on, you can leave me a message in the comments, or you can run screaming at my door and pound on it till I answer the door. You can stalk me until I call the police. Basically, you can let me know in any way you want, and I will do what you want, because I take all suggestions that I get. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.